Hey everybody, I'm Videobob and welcome back to another Rolls Royce video. You know, the fans just keep telling me that they can't get enough of this car. I mean, I did a video about the oil change and it got something like 500,000 views. I did a video about the umbrella. I did a video about the hood struts, the brakes, the lower control arms, the water pump, the alternators. This is the first series of videos out there that really go in depth into the Rolls Royce Phantom. So I'd like to continue that series now with a fan viewer suggestion. Believe it or not, I do read all of the comments, and if you make a comment, I will send you a love and a reply. I do read the comments. So today's video, as you've read in the title, is all about the trunk of the Phantom and the toolkit and first aid kit. I don't think it's ever been covered. So today we're gonna check out the trunk, toolkit, first aid kit, and then I'm gonna give it a Doug score. Well, one of the things that you'll notice about the trunk is the lid is carpeted with this plush, thick carpet. On the back side of this carpet actually is a lot of modules, antennas, GPS antennas, I believe, all the different antennas and other modules are actually hidden behind this carpet. This thing is, I mean, that's thick. The deck lid is the only part really of the Phantom that's stamped out of steel. The entire car, with the exception of the fenders or front wings as they're known, is made out of aluminum. For some reason on the early Phantoms, the front wings or fenders as they call them were made out of a composite type plastic material. Now they're made out of aluminum. But only the deck lid or boot or trunk was stamped out of steel, and that was supposed to be for weight distribution. I guess they just wanted to add as much weight to the car as they possibly could. Thanks. Now, inside here, I have this plush wool rug. That didn't come with the car. But since the interior of the car has wool carpets, I decided to go out and get a big wool rug to match the trunk so that it would be a lot like the rest of the interior. This little bag here does not come with the car. It's a little Rolls Royce duffel bag. I purchased this on eBay. I don't know if it's genuine or if it's a reproduction, but I thought it was cool, and it's just neat for keeping little things in the trunk. Let's start with a couple of quirks and features, as Doug would say. There's a little panel here if you remove it, and this is one of the two fuse panels. You have listed here some of the fuses, and you have a cutoff switch for your secondary battery. We'll talk about that in a moment. There's also this charging port. You can open that up and plug a charger. We'll show that in more detail in just a second. You also have some tie down points here. You'll notice here and also here. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and remove this carpet so that you can get a better look. Okay, without the carpet installed, you'll see there are two panels. On the left side is a storage bay. Now, I probably should have cleaned this out, but I threw some stuff in here. I got a towel. This is actually the manual, which we could probably do a video about the manual all by itself, but this is the manual. It's all in English, it's all in leather, and it's very detailed. I keep it in this little protected bag because I don't want the leather to get scarred. And I have just some business cards in here, and I have, coat hanger and suit cover, some extra oil in case I need it, some jumper cables, and oh, this is what I was looking for. So let's toss all this back in there. Now, this is a battery charger by C-Tech, and I'll put up a link to this thing down below if you're interested in one, but I've talked about this in previous videos. Basically, this is a charger that's made specifically for this car, and this port, and let me cross in front of the camera here. This will plug directly in, and you won't be able to hear this on camera, but when I plug it in, it clicks a relay. Let me see. It clicks a relay, and then on your dash, it will say that the car is plugged in and you cannot drive it until you unplug it. But this is a battery maintainer, and it will maintain your two batteries that are under here. So they suggest that if you're going to be storing the car and parking it for any period of time, that you should plug it in. So like if I go out of town for a week or something, or if I know I'm not going to be driving the car, I'll plug it in. And Rolls Royce sells you this same charger with Rolls Royce written on it for like 500 bucks. Or you can get the C-Tech one, which is the exact same charger for like much, much less. Because really, it's just a battery tender charger is all it is. It's a really good one, but it's nothing that fancy. But it is something that you really need to own if you're going to have one of these cars, because there's so many electronic things in the car that are always working and always on. You do need to keep it maintained. So let me put that in and we'll get to our next section. Okay, here we go. Now you'll see stitched in leather, you have the symbol for emergency hazard and also for medical aid. There's a little leather strap here you pull up and you can lift this. This thing lifts out of the way, and here is your toolkit and first aid kit. Now, we'll start with the first thing on the left here. These are the triangles that you would use to put out in case of an emergency. Never actually open these or use these. Don't actually, maybe I should read the directions. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at that. Well, that's fancy. Wow, that's nice. Look at that. It's orange and reflective. Very well made, I have to say. Very well made. So that's the emergency triangle. I've never opened that, and I don't think anybody's ever shown that. Another historic video by Videobob and the Rolls Royce. Let me see if I can get it back in the case without destroying it. Not that a Rolls Royce would ever break down and you would need this. Clearly it's never been used. And getting it back in that box is probably going to take an hour. Let's see. We're going to have to just skip some of this. Come on. There we go. And Euro 1, it's in German. Okay. Now, this next tool here, this is a tow hook. What this is for is there's a little cap at both the front and the back of the vehicle. You can screw this in, and if you're ever stuck, you can screw this in and use it to be towed out of a ditch or winched, what have you. This is an actual Rolls Royce 13 and 10 millimeter wrench. Let's get a close-up of that. There you go. It says Rolls Royce on it. This is a Rolls Royce screwdriver and comes apart, and you have both a flat and a Phillips. This over here is an emergency key fob, and you would have an emergency key that fits in here and you could use it for the car. The problem with this is that if you're locked out of your car, how are you going to open the trunk? Now, this tool is interesting. This is part of the emergency brake release. You would have to remove this metal panel that runs down the middle here, and there's an access point that you can slide this in and you can undo the parking brake. And that allows you to override the braking system if there's no battery or if it's broken. And that's what this is for. And that is all of the tools. Now we'll get to the first aid kit. Okay, we'll close this for a moment and we'll have a look at the first aid kit. For the Rolls Royce. Look at this. It comes with a listing of contents. You can take a screenshot of that. These are all of the things that are there inside the kit. In this little corner pocket, we have some bandages, some towelettes, some instructions for first aid and CPR, trauma dressing. Wow, look at that thing. We have some other little, what is this, a splint? Oops. We have some insect repellent and some scissors. Put all this back. Very important. All right, let's see. We have some rubber gloves. Now those can be used for, you know, medical reasons or just for fun. We have some triangular bandage. Some more gauze here. First aid butterfly closures. Survival wrap. Now these are interesting. These are like solar blankets, as they call them. So if you ever stuck out in the cold or whatever, helps prevent heat loss, limits solar exposure. 2 of those. If you've got more than 2 people, though, you're gonna have to fight over it. More gauze. Here's some ointment. I just like to say ointment. Some various flexible fabric adhesive strips, non-adherent pads. Check out this metal enclosed waterproof adhesive tape. Some more wrap and some sort of a, oh, what is this, like a magnifying glass and tweezers. That's really cool, actually. Getting you know, well, that's what probably if you got stung by a bee or something, that would come in really handy for getting the stinger out. That's probably what that's all about. So I'm gonna figure out how all this went in there. I wasn't paying attention. I'll have to go, I don't know how all this goes back in. The cicadas here, those noises you're hearing are the cicadas here in Texas. They're very loud bugs in the summertime. When it gets hot, they make a lot of noise. So there it is. That is the Rolls Royce First Aid Kit. Now, while I'm putting this back, I want to talk a little bit about this styrofoam stuff that you're seeing here. And on another video, I talked about how the entire car is insulated. Well, this molded foam, it's kind of a spongy kind of styrofoam. This molded foam is what is in the entire flooring of the car. So there's a subfloor with this foam that runs completely underneath. And I'm going to see if I can get this out easily. Let's see. Because I want to show you underneath. I forget how you do this. Maybe take this piece out first. There we go. That piece comes out. And then, I don't know if this is meant to come out, actually. I don't think it is. Anyway, there are 2 batteries and some fuses you'll see back here. You have 1 battery for the car, 1 battery for the coach. They're independently isolated. There's some more fuses back under there. Now under here is the air compressor that runs the air suspension. Let me see if I can get this to come off without breaking it. I've gotten it out before. Well, it's kind of difficult. I think you have to take this off. That's why it comes with a screwdriver, to take this middle rail off in order to get this out. But underneath here is an air compressor system that runs the air compressor for the car. But this foam insulation is what is basically in the entire subfloor of the car. And look, it says Rolls Royce stamped right into it. It's made just for this car. And the design is that, you know, it doesn't squeak or rattle, and it's well insulated. Getting this back in there, I think this went this way, didn't it? Yeah. Great. It's like a puzzle. Everything in here fits tight as a glove. It really does. Nothing is like loose in this car. Ah, Jesus. There we go. Put it back together. That took way too long. Whew. I'm going to put my fur rug back in. I believe it goes this way. Yes, this is a big wool carpeting. I think it just looks cool. Nice and woolly. And then my bag. I like to keep a couple of suit coats and nice shirts in the trunk. You know, you never know what you're doing. You might go out to dinner. You might be going someplace nice. You open up the trunk, grab a nice suit jacket. This is my This is my rock and roll metal vest. You know, when I go hang out at the rock club where I go, you know, I sing in a Judas Priest cover band just for fun. It's just a hobby of mine. I like to sing heavy metal and also 80s music. Sorry if this hits the microphone, but anyway, this is, oh, sorry about that. Let me fix the mic. I'll just hold it right here. So this is my metal vest. This has nothing to do with the video, but this is my Judas Priest. So if you're ready to rock all night, we're ready to party and live after midnight, you've got another thing coming. So this is my metal vest. I got a little bit of everything on here. I even have Morrissey on here. David Bowie. I have everybody on here. Anyway, this has nothing to do with the video. But I like to keep a couple of different outfits in the trunk because you never know where you're going to be. You might be going to a punk club, a rock club. You might be going out to dinner. You never know what you're doing. So let me take this off real quick. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me and another cool Rolls Royce video. Keep those suggestions coming. I only did this because somebody suggested and it sounded like a good idea. I read all of the comments. So yes, when you're making fun of my face and my pants and all the other troll comments, I read every comment, and the people that are really nasty, I just ban them and delete them because I can't have that on the page. You know, there's kids and stuff on here sometimes watching. So don't be too nasty, okay? Anyway, whole bunch of new stuff coming up. So now, just some teasers. I know I haven't fixed the dent on the door yet. We're working on that. Allstate Insurance came out here yesterday and took some pictures of the car. They needed me to provide proof of ownership. I had to mail them the pictures of the title of the car and things. So far, the estimate is almost $50,000 to unwrap the car, replace both doors, repaint the car, and then rewrap the car. I know that's crazy ridiculous, but whether it's a 2004 Phantom or a 2014 Phantom, they pretty much use the same parts. It's really the same kind of car, you know? And so that's just what it cost. My plan is that they're gonna give me the check for it, and then we're gonna figure out how we're gonna fix it, and maybe we'll repaint the car a different color, maybe we'll rewrap it a different color, I don't know. And maybe your suggestions will help. I really like the black and white look of the car. I've been seeing that combination on a lot of the Ghosts and the Cullinans coming out. But give me your suggestions. Now remember, I am planning to use this car as a rental car, so I'm gonna be using it for weddings, promotions, you know, funerals, all kinds of things like that. So the black and white is a nice formal color. You know, it works well for a wedding or something. Underneath the car, it's actually a silver color, which I feel is very dated. That's a very early 2000s. I mean, how many 2005 300Cs have you seen that are silver? Like 10 million, right? I think it kind of dates it. But when we get the wrap off and I look at the silver, I'll decide. I've seen these in black, I've seen them in white, and I've never owned a white car before. And well, that's not true. I owned a white Ford Taurus wagon back in the 90s. So I take that back, but it's been a very long time. So your suggestions will help. We do have the new original OEM wheels back on. And but that's what's going on with the dent in the door, because people have been asking me like crazy. I know it's been like a long time and we still haven't fixed it. Any other suggestions that you have, feel free to post below. I read every comment. Thank you so much for the people that have subscribed, and make sure, you know, I know every YouTuber asks for notifications, but I'm going to tell you why you should have notifications on for me, because I have been randomly doing live chats where I do live Q&As, and then you can interact with me directly. And then sometimes if we're going to be doing a special event where we're making an appearance, you'll know where that's going to be. And by the way, I'm here in Dallas, Texas, but I travel all over the country, all over the world, you know. Just this year, I've been to Sydney, Australia, I've been to LA, I've been all over the country. So you never know where I'm going to be, and if you'd like to get the chance to hang out with me, maybe I'll take you for a ride in the Rolls Royce. So till then, sorry for the long-winded wrap up, but oh, I forgot to give it a Doug score. The Doug score is 10. See you later.